Hey there, hi there, ho there. I'm back.
Who's that lady? Sexy lady. So it's official. We're lesbians. Cool story, bro.
So today is Monday, which is Becoming Pissy, where I rant about something. Well, today isn't really a rant day. Today is the title, as you can see down below, is Why Being Atheist Sucks Part 3. Why Being Atheist Sucks Part 1 and 2 is on my other channel, and I'll put links here. In Why Being Atheist Sucks Part 1, I talked about how it's kind of annoying if you're an atheist and this is kind of a Christian area, and 70% of the US population in the United States, I just said that, is Christian. And so the thing with Christians is, even though a lot of Christians have a good heart, blah, 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 a lot of Christians automatically assume that everybody else is a Christian, blah, blah, blah. I talked about that in Part 1. Part 2, I talked about atheism and how atheists are kind of hypocrites because a lot of atheists say that they hate Christians because Christians act like they're know-it-alls, but it's ironic because atheists also are very know-it-all type people, even though I'm an atheist and I hope I'm not. Anyway, that's all Part 1. Now, the reason I'm making Why Being Atheist Sucks Part 3 is to kind of respond to a few comments. And I wanted to say hater comments, but they aren't really hater comments. They're mostly feedback type comments. They aren't really hater at all. But I wanted to respond to it because I feel like in Why Being Atheist Sucks Part 2, I wasn't clear enough. And part of the reason why there were these comments was because I wasn't clear about certain topics that I talked about. One of the things was I talked about the fact that I'm writing a book. I talked about how my book is currently about an atheist girl, and I think that's all I said. And I got a lot of comments saying, A, why does it matter if you lie and say it's not about, or, lie about what the book is about? And B, because I said that I always say the book is about, or I don't know what the book is about yet, I don't know. And people were like, why do you say you don't know? You could just say it's about atheism, or you could say it's about faith and spirituality, and blah, blah, blah. And the other thing about my book is, or no, that was the only thing about my book. And I feel like I wasn't specific enough. I wanted to say that the book is more than just about religion and more than just about atheism. That comment who said, why don't you just put your book in the faith and spirituality, kind of say that that's what your book is about? The reason why is because if my book were to ever get published, it would go into the teen fiction section because it is mostly about a teen romance. I always say to my friends and family who know more about what my book is about, I always say that my book is 65% teen romance, and what would that be? 35%? I might just be making that up. 35% about religion. For the most part, it's a teen romance book. That's what it was meant to be. But it just talks about religion and the difficulties with religion. But mostly, it's a teen romance book. And if I say that it's a faith and spirituality book, it would go into the faith and spirituality section of the bookstore, which I wouldn't want it to. I would much rather it go into the teen fiction part of the bookstore. And along with that, someone asked, why don't you just be honest and say the book is about an atheist girl? Who cares? The thing is, I never know. I've met a lot of highly, highly Christian people who discriminate against people who aren't Christian, and I myself have never gone through it, but I would hate to, and you never know who's going to be that type of person. And even if someone doesn't necessarily discriminate against you, because I don't know if I already said this, but the reason why I said I was writing a book was because I was interviewed for a volunteer job, and I really wanted to impress her, so I was like, oh, I'm writing a book, and she was like, oh, what is it about? And I was like, oh, I didn't expect that question because I'm stupid. I was like, oh crap, it's a teen romance book. But the reason why is because you never know who's going to be the kind of person to be a hardcore Christian and discriminate against you. Whether it's not getting the job, volunteer, or any other type of job, or getting the job but being treated like shit because you're not a Christian, whatever it may be. I just want to avoid that. And like I said, it's 65, it's true what I say. It really is about a teen romance. That's what it's about. But again, in my last video, I said, oh, I always say, I don't know what the book is about, which is not true. I do know what my book is about. It's about a teen romance. The girl happens to be an atheist. But the other thing I was going to say was when I talk about the book, part of the reason why I say stuff like, I don't know, because I'm sure there have been times where I lie and say, I don't know what my book is about. The other reason why I do that, or I just leave it to be simple and just say, oh, it's a teen romance book, that's all. The part of the reason why I say that too, one of the main reasons why, is because I am put on the spot when someone asks me that. I've said this a million times and I'll say it again. When I tell someone I'm writing a book, it is a very rare occasion. When I told the lady that was interviewing me that I was writing a book, I came up randomly and I was not expecting, even though it's kind of stupid that I wasn't expecting it, I wasn't expecting the what is your book about question. And so in the heat of the moment and in the randomness of the moment, I was like, I don't know. Or I don't know which one I said. I either said, I don't know, because it was the heat of the moment, or I said it's a teen romance novel and left it at that. Which, if you think about it, saying it's a teen romance novel is kind of the same thing as saying, I don't know. Because saying like, oh, it's a teen romance novel, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, oh yeah, just like everybody else is writing. So typically, I say those things because it's the heat of the moment. Also, I don't want to give my plot away. Maybe I'm just like really self-conscious, but I'm really afraid of someone taking it and being like, oh, that's a good idea, I want to take it. So the two real main reasons is because one, I don't want people to take it, and two, because it's the heat of the moment. When I do tell someone, it's random and it's just kind of like, what? I don't know. And it just comes up and I don't know what to say. But that was my whole book thing. That's what I just wanted to say about the book. Another person who commented, which this is more of a troll type comment, in Why Being Atheist Sucks Part 2, I talk about how I hate know-it-alls. Whether you are an atheist, whether you're a Christian, no matter what religion or what you're talking about, I hate know-it-alls. And in that video, I don't really remember why, but in that video, I talk about how science in school was my worst subject. I suck at science. And someone in the comments, again, this is kind of a troll comment, but still I feel like I should just say it. Someone in the comments said, maybe it's not that the person is being a know-it-all. Maybe it's, if you say you're bad at science, maybe it's just because you don't know and someone trying to tell you something and you're like, oh, you're a know-it-all, but they're not being a know-it-all. They're just trying to be informative and teach you something. I can't speak for everyone, but I know the difference between being a know-it-all and being informative. Even though science was my absolute worst subject in school, I loved my science teachers. My science teachers, most of them were awesome. Some of my favorite teachers of all time, looking back at high school and middle school and elementary school, some of my favorite teachers were science teachers. Even though it was my worst subject. I just had really awesome teachers. Those teachers weren't know-it-alls. They were science teachers, but they weren't know-it-alls. They were trying to teach me about a subject that I didn't know about. Where, on the other hand, let me explain a little bit further. I went to the kind of school, you know how most schools you go and the nerdy, smart kids are the ones that are picked on the most, and it's like the popular kids are usually like the cheerleaders and everything? I went to a smarty pants type school where 90% of the population of my high school student population ended up going to Harvard and Princeton and all of that. They were really smart kids. And because of that reason, the nerdy kids were typically the popular ones. The smarter you were and the more nerdy you were, the more popular you were at my high school, because I went to a very smarty pants high school. It wasn't just science I was bad at. I was pretty much bad at every subject. And I took a study hall type class so I can just do homework, etc., etc. There was a kid in that class who I'm pretty 90% positive, 98% positive that kid ended up going off to Harvard. But there was a kid in that class who was specifically a tutor. His job was to tutor kids on pretty much any topic. He said he could tutor anyone on any topic. And he was in that class to tutor. And school had just started. I hadn't really had any homework yet because school had just started, but I had just taken a chemistry class and I was like, hey dude, just saying, later this year, I might need help with chemistry. If you could help, that'd be awesome. And this is how he responded. What do you need help with in science class? Do you understand? I teach you science. That's what I defined as a motherfucking know-it-all. Yeah, I'm bad at science. Yeah, science is my worst subject, but I'm not a mentally retarded monkey. You don't have to talk down to me. The difference between being a know-it-all and being informative is, in my opinion, is talking down to someone when you're trying to teach someone something. If you're trying to show someone something that you think you know, first of all, if you think you know everything about that topic, and second of all, the main thing is if you're trying to teach someone about that topic and you go about it by talking down to them, then you're probably a know-it-all. I know the difference between being informative and being a teacher about something and being a know-it-all, and that's just what I have to say to that comment. Again, this isn't really a why being an atheist sucks. Mostly it's a why being an atheist sucks responding to comments, but that'd be a really long title. My other channel that these videos are on is Steven and Stephanie, but in case you're wondering, I do not talk about religion any longer or political things any longer on that channel. I used to, but I don't anymore. If you really want that, then that'll be on this channel, not on that channel. That channel is now for comedy sketch videos. So if you want a comedy video, go to that channel. If you want a video about religion and politics and all that shit, go to this channel. Okay? Okay. But that's all I have to say for today. Yeah. I'm back. I'm black, but I'm not. And I promise I'm going to make a video every day, except for Sundays and Wednesdays. I think those are the days I say. If you want my schedule, it is above me on my channel page. I don't know if you're on my channel page, maybe you're not, but if you are, it is above me. If you're not, then go to my channel page and it's above me. I'm making a few changes, but I'll get to that later. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. Bye!